From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
How might the Queen's death affect the British monarchy? Just ahead, an MSU professor who leads American students on political tours of Britain talks about what that future may hold. Well, good morning, Southwest Montana, 6:31. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. Still some haze in the sky, which is better than haze on the road and in your eyes and in your lungs like we had yesterday.
And yesterday we had air quality was
Horrible.
Poor. It was very bad, and visibility was down this morning. At least you can make out the mountains on the horizon. That's good.
Yeah.
Temperatures crisp, cool, and really pretty calm. Temperature right now in Butte, 31 degrees, 32 in Wise River, 30 degrees in West Yellowstone, sitting at 39 at Burt Mooney Airport. We do have the potential of some showers, mainly near Bozeman Pass and areas to our east. I don't think we're going to see a real, there's a little blue on that. I don't know if you saw that out into the
just a little, yeah.
Zorka Beartooth Mountains. A beautiful morning. It is crisp and cool. You probably need that jacket on the way out the door the afternoon. Hey, you may want that jacket as well. Temperatures into the 50s and low 60s for the afternoon. We will talk more about that football forecast for those Friday night lights. That's coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:32. It is a rain we all will remember. Bells are chiming across England this morning as Queen Elizabeth is remembered. United Kingdom's longest serving monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, passed away yesterday. TN's Jolie Salee talked to an MSU professor who regularly takes classes on tours in England that focuses on how the British government works. He spoke about what impact Her Majesty's death will have.
Quality service we want to provide to the community here in the Flathead Valley as well as across Montana. So it's a way we can invest back in that. So great opportunity.
A new state-of-the-art educational facility will soon be constructed on Logan Health's campus in Kalispell as they hope to grow the number of working nurses in Flathead County and across Montana.
Building that relationship with the nurses at the beginning of their career and helping them be successful to better serve the patient population, it's an honor.
Logan Health Chief Nursing Officer April McGauley says the hospital employs more than 650 nurses across their campuses statewide. She hopes that number continues to grow once the new facility is constructed.
It's a way to invest back in the future of nursing.
Montana State University spokesman Michael Becker says the new building will be home to all nursing students, allowing a hands-on experience for undergraduates and graduate students.
All programs and services aimed at getting more students into the nursing pipeline and eventually out into Montana communities to help serve our state.
McGauley says the land donation for the new building is part of an ongoing commitment from Logan Health to increase partnerships with schools across Montana.
That's our goal here at Logan Health, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Is we're fortunate to have Montana State University, FVCC, Salish Kootenai College. They all produce amazing nurses, so any way we can partner, that's what we look to do.
She says the more than $100 million investment made by Mark and Robin Jones will pay dividends for decades to come.
At the end of the day, we all, at some point or another, will need to receive health care, so the fact that they did that so that we can continue to improve our nursing across Montana, that's impressive.
Becker says the timeline for construction is not known at this time as the project still needs to go through an entire planning and design process. In Kalispell, Sean Wells, MTN News.
All right, 6:34 now. Inflation forcing more families to rely on lines of credit. The number of people with credit cards and personal loans reached a record high in the second quarter of this year. Dan Grossman looks at the impact of this and how you should be preparing for what could come next.
Despite its many hardships, the pandemic was helpful in allowing a lot of people to reduce the balances they carry on these. In 2020, the Fed reported that credit card debt in the U.S. fell by $120 billion, the largest decline ever, and then another $28 billion in the first 4 months of last year. But things are rebounding and quickly as more Americans are turning to lines of credit than ever before.
A lot of people are relying on their lines of credit as a safety net, a financial safety net to cover some of the costs of living.
Bruce McClary is the Senior Vice President of Communications and Membership for the National Foundation for Credit Counseling.
The NFCC conducted a survey and released those findings earlier this year that showed about 2 in 5 Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and fewer than 1 in 3 even have a plan, a basic plan, on how they're going to pay off the debt that they owe.
According to TransUnion, the number of people with credit cards and personal loans hit a record high in the second quarter of 2022, as the total number of credit cards exceeded 500 million for the first time ever, and the balances on those cards jumped 13% during the same time frame, the largest year-over-year increase in more than 20 years. With the Fed still set to raise interest rates more, it comes with a word of caution.
If you're in a position where you're not paying off your credit card debt within your billing cycle and you're carrying debt from month to month, you should be concerned about these Fed rate increases, because it is going to increase the cost of repaying the debt that you already owe.
The TransUnion report also shows the number of people who are missing payments on their debt is increasing faster among those with below average credit scores. McCleary says it should make many of us look at our budgets to see where we can trim some money so that repayment doesn't get out of hand.
It's important to start making a plan for a worst case scenario. And recessions always end up affecting the job market. And this could mean layoffs.
Prioritizing debt repayment can be difficult, especially with the higher costs of goods. But McCleary says the more you can put toward it, even if it's not as much as you would like, will save you more on interest rate costs in the long term. In Denver, I'm Dan Grossman.
All right, thank you, Dan. 6:37 now. Schools across the nation questioning whether or not to keep lockers. But no lockers means students will need to carry everything in their backpack. Elizabeth Ruiz looks at the impact this could have and how to prevent your children from facing chronic back pain in the future.
When I was in high school, I carried so many books in my bag, and I used to have teachers telling me I was going to have back issues, and I've always wondered if there's truth to that. We're about to talk with a doctor about how kids should be wearing their backpacks to make sure they don't have any back issues.
So millions of children are going back to school, which is great after the sort of the prolonged COVID pandemic. But I think one of the things that we tend to neglect is, back spine health for kids.
It may seem simple, but how your child carries a backpack matters. Neurosurgeon Sherrod Rajpal says you don't want them to deal with a heavy load by compensating in unhealthy ways.
So pulling forward with the shoulders and the head and the neck, with the low back, things like that. So then that sort of over time causes problems with increased neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain. And you don't want to turn something that's an acute problem into a chronic problem for an individual. And we talk about how back pain is one of the most significant problems that adults suffer from. So if we can try to be preventative in those earlier formative years is really important.
I know it looks cool to have one strap going, but Dr. Rajpal says the best thing for your back health is to have it tight to your back. And if you have a strap in the front to clip, even better. In addition to balancing the load, the National Spine Health Foundation says students should be lifting their backpacks with a bend at the knees. It would be ideal for students to carry less, but Dr. Rajpal says that may not be the case for a while.
I think that we're even thinking that perhaps the future is going to be just carrying one laptop throughout, but I think definitely textbooks have not gone away. In fact, kids are actually, just as you said, carrying more items in their backpack because they have less opportunity to get to their locker in the day.
If your child complains of numbness or weakness in the arms or legs, talk to your doctor. In Louisville, Colorado, I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
Some great advice in there. Thank you very much. 6:39 now. It is a rain we all will remember. Bells are chiming across England this morning as Queen Elizabeth is remembered. The United Kingdom's longest-serving monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, passed away yesterday. MTN's Jolie Salee talked to an MSU professor who regularly takes classes on tours in England that focuses on how the British government works. He spoke about what impact Her Majesty's death will have.
Queen Elizabeth II, the UK's longest-serving monarch, passed this morning. Department Head of Political Sciences at MSU, Dr. David Parker, says she leaves behind a legacy of leading Britain through historic challenges and opening the royal family up to the public eye.
Inevitably, a long life can pass by many milestones. My own is no exception.
Born in 1926, you could say that the Queen had seen it all.
She has met 13 out of the 14 last presidents. She was reigned since 1952. Her coronation was the first to be televised.
She remained resolute throughout horrific events in her personal life and guided her family into brighter days after a series of dramas.
She was able to kind of overcome all that because of her, frankly, her grace.
Dr. David Parker teaches a study abroad British politics class at MSU. He says the monarchy survived because the Queen was able to adapt to modern times.
And because she was very clear about separating out those conventions, making sure she never appeared political in any particular capacity.
Parker is interested in seeing how the Queen's death will impact the popularity of the royal family now that King Charles III will be taking her place.
One of the things with Charles is Charles in some ways has been more politically vocal. So it'll be interesting to see if he continues that.
Parker says we might be able to see how much support for the monarchy comes from the institution itself or a symbolic person.
She took very seriously the notion that she was a living emblem of Britain. What will be interesting to see is whether or not her son, who will be known as King Charles III, will be able to keep that legacy alive and be able to protect the monarchy.
In Bozeman, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
All right, 6:41. We're going to take a break here on Montana This Morning.